And now the 450 division. In third place on the Monster Energy Yamaha, Justin Barcia. And in second place on the factory Rockstar Husqvarna, Jason Anderson. And your winner on the factory Red Bull KTM, Marvin Musquin. Justin, I know it's been a rough couple of years for you with the injuries that you've pretty much gotten almost every December for I don't know how long. Take us through just the emotions of being up here after kind of what you've gone through over the past few years and even in the off season, not knowing what you're going to do, and to be sitting here right now on the podium. Tell us a little bit how that feels.
Yeah, for sure. It's been definitely tough times, and like such tough times that I wasn't sure I wanted to race anymore. So, I kind of, after, I, didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a ride or anything. I kind of took a break and went over to England and just like chilled out with my fiance and stuff. And then my buddy called me and he's like, "Hey, you want to race the Monster Cup?" And I was like, "Well, I haven't really been training or anything, but yeah, sure." So I flew home and spent a couple weeks on the bike in Florida, just on a stock bike. And then, we went out to California, put something together and did pretty good, and just more so had fun than anything. Didn't put any pressure on myself. And I was like, all right, well, if I don't get a ride, I'll just put together a team and do that. But luckily this came up, and yeah, it's been good. It's nice to be up here tonight for sure. It's been, a lot of tough times, but definitely worked hard to be up here. It was nice to lead some laps and get that feeling again. Definitely building my confidence back up. That's for sure. It's been cool.
Jason, mid-main event, I was paying pretty close attention to your gap with Marvin, and it was kind of closing. You were kind of losing, and it seemed to go back and forth almost like 5 or 6 laps in a row. Was that just little mistakes here and there? It seemed like you were still pretty aggressive through the middle section, but it was just one step forward, one step back pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. That track out there, I felt like it was easy to override. So like whenever I felt like I would like close it up, I would try and like push a little harder and maybe make a couple mistakes. But at the same time, I feel like the pace we're going, we are riding mostly 100% the whole time. So it's when you're riding 100% and you're barely catching the guy in front of you, it makes it a little bit tough. But I tried my best, but yeah, I felt like I was inching up on him a little bit here and there, but wasn't enough to get him at the end.
Marvin, with Ryan Dungey retiring and moving on and you kind of filling the shoes as the lead guy on that team, any added pressure in this offseason and coming into tonight, or business as usual?
Yeah, for sure. It's different. Ryan was our leader. I feel like, but not even at KTM. I feel like the whole field. He's been winning the 3 championships in a row. So it's been great for him. But yeah, it was a dream, and the goal for me to be in that position. And here I am, and I worked really hard to fill in that spot. And I want to do really good now. And yeah, to win tonight is definitely, it was not expected. It was a difficult day, but try to stay calm. I guess we made it happen. It's really hard to believe. I had a bad start, but we put everything together and we were consistent. It was a long main event.
For Justin, you've been at the top of the sport. You've won 250 titles. You've won 450 main events. You've been on the podium a lot in the 450 class in the past. And you've had a rough go, obviously, for a little while. Can you talk a little bit about what changes that makes in your personal life? Like your phone blowing up now, like this coming week, you're probably going to get all kinds of people bothering you. But can you talk a little bit about the ups and downs and how you've handled all that and what you expect after you've now grabbed another podium?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, life's tough. I mean, I was I was in the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. Even when I was at JGR, I won some outdoor races and started building confidence again. And then it seems like something would happen, and I'd get set back again. And even yeah, so that was tough for sure. And at the not coming into this with a contract was frustrating for sure. But I knew I wanted to race more, so I was just like put my head down and kind of rethought life a little bit, and like I said, started building my confidence back up, getting more comfortable on a bike. And when I got the call from Yamaha, it was exciting, but it was also scary because I struggled in the Yamaha in the past. But they did a great job, obviously, on their new bike. And people have a hard time believing that as coming into the season, like, oh, you didn't like the Yamaha. And I was like, well, it's not that I didn't like it, I just struggled on it, never got adapted to it, had a lot of injuries. But I felt like I had a solid month and a half before this, getting used to the bike and rebuilding. It was just rebuilding. That's all it was. Getting comfortable, getting the speed back up, and it was good at the test track as well because I got to ride with Cooper and all the star guys, and we're kind of like a race every day. So we don't have the Olden Baker training facility, but we have our little Yamaha test track, so it's good.
Justin, to build off of that, so you signed for 6 races, right?
Yeah.
Have they tried to sign you for the full season yet?
No, yeah, maybe. I hope so. No, like I said, people ask me today, like, what's your thoughts on the 6th race? I'm like, honestly, I'm just taking it race by race. What, I hold the key to my destiny right now. I think if I, keep doing good, I'm sure, Yamaha has enough resources to run 3 guys. I can guarantee that. So, yeah, just taking it race by race, though, and just having fun. And that's what I did today. I just went out there all day and I was like, just have fun. And that's what I did. And I showed good times and good speed, and things went well.
Questions for both Marvin and Jason. Both of you had a pretty rigorous travel schedule during the off season. First of all, how do those gate drops benefit you going into the season, as well as how do they outweigh the fact that your off season was basically limited to a 40-day fit challenge?
Yeah. Go for it.
Well, I had the exact same schedule as last year. The racing Vegas and the Red Bull Street Rhythm, Paris Supercross in Geneva. So I did the exact same schedule this year, and it's I think it's really good for me, especially because going back to France and racing those races, that's the only time I get to go back there and see the French fans and enjoy that time. And also at the same time, it's racing, and we have a new bike for this year. It was great to test it out on race conditions. And Jason was there. I mean, great riders show up to Paris and to Geneva, so it was great racing. And yeah, obviously I love to travel over there, and yeah, it got us ready for the new season for sure.
Yeah, for me, I've never done any of the off-season races, so honestly, it was nice for me because for the past, this is my 4th year being in the 450 class. The previous 3 years, I've been just grinding, from October to Anaheim 1 in Florida, and this year I definitely did a little bit different, but it was. Honestly, I had the time of my life. I was able to go to Australia. It was summertime over there, and they treated us well. And then had the exact opposite in Switzerland where it was snowing. So, but got to, check out the world. And, I definitely want to go back and do those things next year because I had a good time. And, I still feel like for us, those races, everyone talks about you race a lot and stuff like that. But those races are a little bit different. I feel like they're not as stressful. And honestly, I feel like they're a good time, and gate drops are good. And I raced Marv in Switzerland, stepped into his territory a little bit, but got beat. But I had a good time.
Congratulations to all 3 of you. There was so much said about pre-race jitters heading into this race. Also, we heard racers say you can't win a championship here, but you can lose one here. That being said, what's the feeling of relief to get through this race successfully and healthy?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like all of us up here on the podium, achieved what the main goal was to leave here with solid points and out of the carnage. So, yeah, I think I'm obviously, we want to win, but at the same time, you can't complain with the second and getting solid points and, just moving on to the next round and just try and keep putting ourselves in good positions.
I feel like any results are you happy when you out of the first round at Anaheim? Obviously, like Jason said, when you're on the podium like that, you're really happy and you want to move forward. But it's important, yeah. Obviously, to do good, like you said, yeah. You don't win the championship now. It's the first round, but yeah, everybody's waiting for that first round, and it feels like that's the race of the year, but it's only the first round, and but yeah, that's why it's so exciting, and yeah, now we get it out of the way and we move forward, and it's going to be a long championship.
Justin, talk a little bit about when Eli went down. All of a sudden, you're in the lead, and what's going through your head? And then Marv, was it any more motivation to realize, there's a win right in front of me?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when Eli got in front of me, I was, trying to run his pace, obviously. Did pretty good for a bit. Then, the track was such a sprint track that any little mistake cost you a lot. So, yeah, in that race, I kind of lost touch of him. And then as obviously he went down and I was like, all right, like just try to, run my pace. I kind of had in mind what I wanted to do in that race, and it was kind of going the way I wanted. Obviously, I was out front, but like I said, the little mistakes really would get you tonight because the track's so sprinty and fast. So yeah, obviously Marv got me, and then same thing, kind of tried to run the pace, make a little mistake, and Jason got me, and but I stayed up, fairly close to Jason, so I was happy, where I finished at for sure. Yeah.
I mean, when you see Eli leading like that, and I was in third position, I knew it would have been very, very hard, to catch him. And he had a really good speed, and obviously when you're leading like that, you have nobody in front of you. It's a little easier to take your line. I can. In the heat race, it was pretty tough, being in a group. So obviously, it would have been better if I was leading. But yeah, I just took my time, and I saw Eli crashing, and it proved that track was tough, and everybody made mistakes. And obviously, I almost crashed at the exact same spot as Eli crashed. I clipped the front wheel, and it was really, really close. So. You just had to be very consistent and try to make it happen for 20 minutes. It was long, especially when you're leading. It takes forever.
This one's for Marvin. About a year ago, I think everybody thought Marvin, second guy on the team, it'd be great if he would win. In 12 months now, you're expected to win. Does that change your mentality, how you come to the races, how you prepare? Because that's a lot different being top 5 podium guy to now championship contender.
Yeah, it's not easy to put yourself in that position and knowing you're like, I can win. It's really hard, and all those guys are working so hard, and the competition is really tough. And like you said, last year I was expecting to get on the podium. That's what I did, but to win, it would have been really hard. So this year is a different story. Yeah, I feel like I can win. I know it's going to be very tough, but anything can happen like tonight.
This is for all three of you. One of the biggest questions coming into 2018 was what level would Ken Roczen be? And there's no better test of that than a race. So after this race, what's your thoughts? And did that surprise you?
Well, for me, I think it's really good to have all the guys behind the gate, healthy and ready to race. So it's the best for the fans, for the sport, and we put on a good show. I mean, right away the heat race, I was battling with Ken, and he's here racing, healthy and strong, I think, I think it's going to be a good season. Like I said, it's good to see everybody up here and ready to race.
Yeah, for sure. I think as we all know, Ken's talented, and he's very savvy when it comes to his racecraft and everything like that. So I feel like no matter what, he's gonna be good. You know, no matter if he's slow or fast or whatever. I think he always is pretty smart at figuring it out really quick. So it's no surprise on how good he's riding, but you know, at the same time, it's a long season. So I think that's going to be the test for him, because I don't feel like that's something that, you know, he hasn't pulled off or any of us have quite pulled off yet. So we're all trying to figure that piece of the puzzle out. So yeah, I think that's just going to be, the part where, you know, he's going to have to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, we all got to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. Good to have him back. You know, that was a scary crash and, you know, scary injury. So anyone who would come back from that and be competitive is awesome. And the competition is obviously, you know, every year it's super hard. But, you know, I was talking to Jason the other day before, you know, I think it was press day or something. And we were saying, like, you know, the competition really never, the level never changes. There's always a gnarly level, but it's just different guys a little bit. A few guys go away and a few guys come, so it's always, you know, top level. And yeah, it's a long season, and yeah, everyone's gonna be fighting for sure.
This question is for Jason and Marvin. You were on the West Coast a little more. You both did off-season races. Dungey's gone. Brock Tickle moves in. Just talk about how different the work was between you two. I guess you weren't riding together as much as maybe previous years, so was it different this off-season a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I stayed on the West Coast. I really wanted to stay with the team, and you know, we had a new bike, and kind of wanted to develop that. You know, and I kind of wanted to be involved in the process. But yeah, I mean, we did some motos together and stuff like that. But you know, yeah, at the end of the day, you know, we just kind of did what was good for us, and was able to be prepared as possible. And I think, yeah, I think whether we're on West Coast or East Coast, I mean, I think we all put in the work. If we want to do good, I think we're going to, you know, put our heads down and figure it out. You know, problem solve, I guess.
Yeah, you know, Jason had you know, different. I mean, not schedule, but he wanted to stay in California. You know, everybody's different, and we all try our best to be the best. And we all work really hard, and but you know, I try to obviously focus on myself, and we both have, you know, Alden Baker as a trainer, and we work you know, really hard, and we've seen each other a little bit in Florida, and yeah, obviously there is pressure, and because we both want to win, and yeah, that's not easy. Even though with no racing, we joke, you know, together, but when you know there's the championship, there, you know, there's pressure and there's competition, so it's not always easy, but we know at the end it's good, and it's gonna be a good championship, and I'm really happy that the work that I put in, and yeah, for KTM and Husqvarna, we're all doing good.
All right, thank you guys.